I get it. When you're looking at a security camera system, you're not just scrolling through glossy specs, you're trying to stop a feeling that you might be dumping cash on something that will sit on a shelf gathering dust, or worse, miss the very thing you want to protect. You probably imagined the camera being installed on the front porch, catching a package delivery at night, and then you wonder if the night vision will actually show color or if the motion tracking will be reliable enough to send you a REOL alert instead of a false alarm every time a leaf blows by. If that what if is hanging over your head, you're not alone, and the answer isn't as simple as buy the cheapest or go for the most expensive. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The REOLINK 4K PoE bundle tries to cover a lot of ground in one package: a 16-channel NVR, 8 outdoor cameras that each claim 4K resolution, pan and tilt capability, and color night vision. That's a hefty setup for a typical homeowner, and it makes sense to break down why that matters before you start unboxing. First off, the PoE, Power over Ethernet, angle is a real convenience if you have a wired network already. Instead of worrying about battery swaps or solar panels, each camera gets power and data through a single Cat5 cable. For someone who's comfortable pulling a few cables through the garage or attic, that's a time saver. But if you're renting or you don't want to run wires under the house, the same convenience turns into a hurdle. You'll need to add a PoE switch or a router that supports PoE, and that could add a few $100s to the overall cost. The cameras themselves sit at 355 degrees of pan and 50 degrees of tilt. In a real-world scenario, imagine you have a long driveway that stretches from your front gate to the main house. The wide pan range means you can cover the entire stretch with a single camera, instead of placing one at the gate and another near the house. The tilt isn't as dramatic, but it does let you angle the lens down a bit to see a porch step or a mailbox. The 4K sensor is a selling point because it promises more detail when you zoom in on a recorded clip. If you're the type who likes to see a license plate clearly after an incident, that extra resolution can be a lifesaver. However, that extra detail also means you'll need a fairly robust storage plan. The bundled NVR offers 8 terabytes of HDD space, which can fill up quickly if you're recording 24/7 at full resolution. For a homeowner who only needs motion-triggered recording, that storage will stretch farther, but you'll still want to be aware of the eventual need to clean out older footage. Color night vision is a claim that catches attention because most budget cameras resort to monochrome infrared at night. In the field, the color output is best for illuminated scenes where street lights or porch lights provide some ambient light. I've seen a few REOLINK users post clips of a cat strolling across a dimly lit driveway where the colors retain a noticeable hue that can make it far easier to identify a person's clothing or a vehicle's make. But if you're trying to monitor a completely dark yard with no external lighting, the color channel will fall back to monochrome infrared, just like any other camera. So the benefit is real, but only if you're already lighting the area you want to watch. Auto-tracking attempts to follow moving subjects across the field of view, which sounds great on paper. In practice, it functions better when the subject is relatively large and moves at a moderate speed. Think a person walking towards your front door or a delivery truck pulling up. If a small animal darts across the grass, the camera might lose the subject or jitter between frames. That's not a deal-breaker, but it's worth noting if you're hoping the system will act like a smart eye that never loses track of a moving object. The tracking also triggers an alert, so you won't be staring at a live feed waiting for a notification. The system will push a notification to your phone when motion is detected within the camera's view. Who should consider this bundle? If you are a DI-inclined homeowner with a reliable wired network and you want comprehensive coverage of a property, multiple entry points, a driveway, maybe a backyard pool, this set gives you the hardware to do it without needing to buy each camera separately. The fact that you get 8 cameras and a 16-channel NVR means you can expand later, adding more cameras to the same system if you decide to monitor outbuildings or a second property. It's a good fit for people who are comfortable navigating a basic web interface or the REOLINK app, which is fairly straightforward. Live view, playback, and basic configuration are all accessible with a few taps. The menu isn't buried under layers of settings, but it does.